G'day viewers, Troy from Troy's Visual Arts channel. This is a follow-up from my I Need Help video on my overheating CPU of my computer, the i9-14900KF. And yeah, basically I was having heating, is still overheating despite having the Cooler Master 360 AIO connected to it. And yeah, after reading a bunch of comments, helpful comments on my video, I've decided to firstly investigate what's going on with the CPU and the thermal paste, and how well of a job, or how badly of a job I've done on connecting the head and applying the thermal paste, or should I say the other way around. Anyway, so one commenter suggested that maybe I've not tightened this up properly. Well, anyway, I did make it rather firm. I didn't he-man the screws, but basically, I mean, it feels like it's on there nice and firm. There's no wobble or anything. So I don't think I've done it wrong in that respect. So I'm getting no movements. But either way, I'll take this off and I'll see if the thermal paste is spreaded properly. I did kind of put a bit too much thermal paste on, more than a piece size. And then I just sort of got a bit of plastic and just scraped a fair bit off, just so I get down to slightly more than a piece sized. And I just placed this on top. Oh yeah, the commenter asked if I removed the plastic covering. Yes, I did. That was on the heatsink of the AIO. All right. Okay, I'm going to stop video, take the AIO head off, and show you how it looks underneath. Okay, viewers, I've taken the screws off. Let's see how the heat transfer, the thermal paste looks. Oh, shit. Fuck, I'll pull this off that hit the RAM chip. Oh, I hope it's alright. Yeah, I panic when I'm doing when stuff like that happens. But anyway, I mean, okay. Looks like it's there's a few air pockets up on the left hand side of the chip, relative to my camera. I mean, it's spreaded, but it may not have spreaded properly. So I'm gonna I'm gonna remove the thermal paste and I'm gonna reapply it. They say put a pea size glob in the center. Then again, the way my uncle, who's had years of experience in computing, told me that he would use a pallet, use a plastic pallet knife and one of those proper knives, or scraper things, and evenly spread the thermal paste across the CPU. But yeah, I've got one of those pallet knife things down there with the thermal compound, so I think maybe I should do it that way. The problem is, from watching a video on applying thermal paste, apparently some CPUs the plate can bow inwards, and you end up getting an air gap between the CPU plate and the cooler. So yeah, so yeah, it's just a bit of a toss up on what I should do. Looks like I have applied a little bit too much thermal paste in one way. I don't know, but well, anyway, I'm going to reapply the thermal paste. I'm going to just spread it across, because I really don't like how this looks. I think I should spread it right across. I'm just going to go for broke and do it that way rather than put a glob in the center. And we'll see how we go. I'll show you I'll show you how it's all spreaded once I've cleaned the old paste off and reapplied the new one. God damn, I hate the fact that the end of this cooler has hit the RAM chip. Oh, I'll soon know if I've got a stuffed RAM chip. Alright, see you in the next video when I've reapplied the new thermal paste. Okay viewers, I've cleaned off the thermal paste off the CPU. It's looking pretty much clean as a whistle, except for there's a little bit of paste down the side there, but in order to get that off I'm going to have to unclip the CPU, and I talked to my uncle about that, and he said that if I do that and I reapply it, I could potentially bend the plate of the CPU, which is not very desirable, so I shouldn't do that unless I really have to. But anyway, the main thing, as I understand, is to get to have the thermal paste nicely spread across the CPU so the heat can be nicely dissipated. So that's what I'm going to do next. I've cleaned it. I use isopropyl alcohol and Q-tips to get the thermal paste off, and I also used the grease cleaner cloth that came with the tube of thermal paste. I've done the same deal on the AIO heatsink. Okay, so I'm going to reapply the thermal paste and yeah, put it down, and I'll reconnect it, and yeah, see how I go from there. Alright, see you in the next video. Okay viewers, some bad news on trying to spread this thermal paste using this palette knife here. As I was squeezing it out, it's sort of it's kind of like heaps tacky, and my feeble attempt to try and spread it across has failed miserably, because the thermal paste just tears, and it's not like the thermal paste I use at work when I spread it across transistors and SCRs and all that. Not that white stuff. No, this grey stuff is just so tacky, and it's just so dry that I'm having an impossible time nicely spreading it across the CPU. I'm going to go talk to my uncle next door and get his opinion on this. Maybe I might just have to put a pea-sized glob on the center and just press it down like as suggested, and hope for the best. Alright, see you in the next video. Hey viewers, I decided to just Google up on why the thermal paste ain't spreading properly with this here palette knife. According to AI, I shouldn't be spreading it. I should just put a dot in the middle and let the pressure from the heat sink of the AIO do the job of spreading it. As spreading it may create an uneven surface, and there'll be air bubbles impeding the heat transfer. So looks like I'm going to have to now clean all that off and start again. Not happy about that, but has to be done. Alright, see you in the next video once I've cleaned all that off and I've applied a pea-sized glob in the center of the CPU. Hey viewers, got all that thermal paste off and reapplied it. This time I've added a glob that's roughly about the size of pea, give or take. It's got a bit of a tail on it. Anyway, I'm going to put the heatsink on. If things go wrong, you can let me know whether I've done it right or done it wrong with applying the thermal paste. And I'll have to start all over again. But I hope this time, when I get it all together, it will do the job properly, and I won't get an overheated CPU. Alright, see you in the next video. Okay viewers, have now fastened the AIO head straight onto the or should I say heatsink straight onto the CPU with the new applied thermal paste. So yeah, I've sort of did the right thing by going diagonals in terms of tightening them up. I sort of like tighten them up a bit, and then afterwards I add extra tightness to each one's, going diagonals once again, just so that way it gets tightened nice and evenly. Well, anyway, so that's that done. It's pretty rock solid. It's not moving at all. Right. Yeah, I'm now thinking that this palette knife is actually used to scrape off the old thermal paste rather than spread the thermal paste. I don't know, I get confused when I watch a few videos and they say, yeah, you can spread the thermal paste across using a palette knife or using a one of those little finger glove things. So yeah, anyway, all right, I'm now gonna put this computer back together, put the graphic card in, hook it up, and hope for the best. And I'll present the results. See you next video. Okay, viewers, computer's powered up. I'm just in the BIOS. I'm going to turn the turbo boost on, because I have for the past several days had the turbo boost off to keep the chip from the CPU from overheating. So I'm going to find out where it is. I think it's in advanced. I think it might be in CPU configuration, or be CPU power management, or one of the things. I've got to remember. I think it's in here if I remember rightly. Okay, yeah, turbo mode. I've disabled it. Now I'm going to enable it. All right. I think while I'm at it, I might see what BIOS version I have. If I can't remember where I have to look to find that out, but all right. So my BIOS version is 1646. Date 20th of March 2024. So I dare say it needs to be updated, but I'll think about that as an afterthought if this CPU doesn't keeps on heating up. Anyway, let's exit. So I'll exit that. I'll now exit and save changes and reset. So I've enabled the turbo mode. Now, anyway, I'm going to just boot the computer up and get back to you on how things are going. Okay, viewers, got the Cinebench loaded up and the HW monitor loaded up. Even just opening this program, it's already reached a max temperature of 81 degrees, or 85 degree on the P core. So yeah, I'm not liking this at all. I bet any money it's going to bloody max out at 100 degrees quite easily. I think I'm probably no better off than before. So let's see what the verdict is. There we go, it's upwards of 88 degrees now. Let's see if it... Yeah, it's getting into the 90s. Seems like a bit of an improvement because it hasn't exactly gotten to 100 degrees yet. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Still, it shouldn't be this high anyway for this type of cooler, according to one of the commenters. So yeah, I still think I've got issues. It's creeping up, but it's not instantly going to 100 degrees. So it is a bit of an improvement so far. So it's maxed out at 95 degrees. Yeah, seems to be actually loading the image up a lot quicker too, or a bit quicker. Can't remember now, but anyway. Okay, package is gotten up to 97 degrees. Well, either way, it is improved a little bit. It's not like hasn't instantly hit to 100 degrees yet. Alright, well, it's reached 98 degrees. Anyway, I'm going to stop video and I'll start it up again once it's hit 100 degrees, if it ends up getting there. Which I bet any money it... No, didn't even need to finish my sentence. It's now maxed out at 100 degrees. Temporarily, that is. It's, the temperatures are actually kind of... yeah, the package is sort of swinging between the late 80s and the early 90s a lot of the time. The P core seems to be staying above 90 degrees. The E core seems to be at a lower temperature. Let's see what the actual V core voltage is. So the V core says well, it's at 12.61. It looks to be within a reasonable okay range. It's max, looks like it's maxed out at 1.527. That's not, apparently I think that's not, from what I've seen, it's not too bad. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. I mean, it's still an improvement over how it was before, so that's a bit of a win. I'm just going to let this run for the next 10 minutes, and yeah, I'll present the results, see whether the P core has ended up hitting 100 degrees or not. The E core won't, I'm pretty confident, won't hit 100 degrees. But the package itself has hit 100 degrees temporarily, but just briefly. But it seems to be like, yeah, swinging around the 90s. Alright, stop video now. Catch you in the next one. Okay, viewers, yeah, test is done. Bit of an improvement on the points score too, 2102. So yeah, P core, yeah, maxed out at 100 degrees. Yeah, it's, I mean, the CPU's cooled down, but the VR, whatever, I need to look that up, VR, that's slowly dropping in temperature. The AIO is pretty much kind of powered down. That kind of bothers me that the VR is kind of, it was up in the 90s too, and it's just slowly, yeah, dropping in temperature. I would have figured that the cooler would have stayed on and cooled it down quicker, like it cooled down the rest of the CPU. Yeah, like I'm no computer whiz, so I don't exactly know what the VR is. I'll have to Google that one. But anyway, either way, it's as said, it is an improvement over how it was before with the thermal paste I originally applied. I mean, it's the same thermal paste type, but yeah, I kind of applied it a little bit poorly on beforehand. But yeah, it's an improvement, but I should be getting temperatures like in the 70s or something with this stress test, not in the 90s. But anyway, it's a bit of a small win, and yeah, before I was getting and also the point score for the CPU is better. Although I should be getting something over 2,200 points, but I don't know. All right. Anyway, I'm a bit happier that that the CPU is not easily redlining at 100 degrees like it was previously, but still could be improved. So I think the next thing to look at is the BIOS and updating the BIOS and yeah, look at the power settings and so forth. Okay, well, I'll wait for comments from you tech experts out there who can guide me in the right direction. This is Troy from the Troy's Visual Arts channel, signing out.